Well, hey, LTDE 5305 students, classmates, wanted to show you my Weebly webpage from N Squared Learning about this course, the Instructional Design in the Digital Age. So first off, we came up with our instructional evaluation tool. And so we made a group effort, made a Google form covering a course that I had developed in previous class. And then I put together several images about buoyancy and hot air balloons. So on my Pinterest page, so I had interests, I had images. So these are some images from my students actually doing the work. Some other images I found online that I thought I might be able to use, and I did use some of them. Then various websites about the hot air balloons and buoyancy, and then some lesson plans that I had found online that I used portions of in building my own lessons. So that's the Pinterest page. Then we made our Webquest. So here's the Webquest about hot air balloons. So it has the task, the process in which the students go through and create the hot air balloon and work on it. Here's the rubric in which I used to grade it with, the conclusion, the credits, and then the teacher page there. So, all right. So that was that. And then lastly was the subject sampler about the hot air balloon design and buoyant force. And so had my websites, many of them I had already curated on the Pinterest page, so pulled them in here, came up with the questions, some of the similar activities that were in the Webquest, put together in my subject sampler page. So the end result was working their way through and finding the buoyant force acting on a hot air balloon. So, all right. So that was the stuff I put together. So, creating the subject sampler was probably the most meaningful piece for me in this course. It brought many of the other pieces together from earlier in the course into a single assessment by pulling images and websites from the Pinterest page that I had put together. And by looking back at ideas and questions from the Webquest, I was able to design and create the online subject sampler as a single, smooth, multi-question assessment. The subject sampler also made me narrow my focus and create a smaller assessment out of the larger unit. Now I'll need to create one or two more samplers to complete this unit for my physics students. Authentic assessments are very important. It is one of the reasons I moved from a very comfortable teaching position, teaching 24 years at the same school, to help open a new school with a project-based learning emphasis. My assessments needed to change, and having students be immersed in a project with multiple solutions, similar to what I have here in my subject sampler, and applying those physics concepts instead of just learning facts and equations. It was a huge paradigm shift for me. I wrote the subject sampler to be used in my class this year with my physics students as we get into this unit in the spring semester. Let's see. So this one was created, long enough to get them started, but I cut it down so it wasn't the entire project all in one subject sampler. I didn't want them to be overwhelmed with too much information all at one time. And I think Lisa Covington's reply to me earlier in the semester, where she stated, as I was writing my treasure hunt, I found myself really thinking about how to change the questions from simply repeating information back to me into questions that required the student to create something. This had a great deal of wisdom in it. The subject sampler took a long time to put together because of that reason. changing recall questions into higher order thinking assessment questions and activities took time to create. And then putting the resources together to set the students up for success took lots of thought and research to put it into place. I also appreciated Jennifer Monroe Calix's compliment where she said, "I absolutely loved your LabQuest. I think you did an amazing job implementing real-world applications of physics within your tasks and process." That's something I work hard at in creating projects that apply physics to real-world applications. I want to give students the opportunity to produce a unique solution to a problem. It has made teaching even more fun and satisfying than ever. Merry Christmas!